Close your eyes. Picture the Sahara. What do you see? Endless dunes of sand, perhaps. A landscape scorched by a relentless sun. An ocean of emptiness. But this was not always so. We must look back in time, far beyond any written history. Go back 10,000 years. The Sahara was not a desert at all. It was a vibrant, living world. A vast, sprawling savanna teeming with life. Great rivers carved their way through the fertile plains, their waters flowing powerfully towards enormous inland seas. Lake Megachad, a body of water larger than any we know in Africa today, shimmered under the sun. Its shores were lined with dense reeds. Crocodiles drifted silently. Herds of elephants came to drink and bathe. Ancient peoples lived along the riverbanks, their lives woven into this rich, natural world. Among all the creatures of this green Sahara, one stood out. Majestic, serene, the giraffe. Today we associate these gentle giants with East and Southern Africa. But thousands of years ago, they were a defining feature of this northern landscape. Their impossibly long necks reaching high into the acacia canopy, delicately plucking tender leaves. Slow, deliberate movements. A ballet, peaceful elegance against a vast green plain. Small, peaceful herds, patterned coats blending with dappled sunlight. Life followed predictable seasonal rhythms. Wet seasons brought new growth. Rivers swelled, lakes brimmed. Giraffes followed the green, their long legs carrying them across the plains. Browsers, not grazers, filling a special niche in the food web. Height gave them vantage, the twitch of a lion's tail. When danger came, they fled rather than fought. Powerful legs could kick, but only as a last resort. Young stayed close to mothers, learning which trees had the sweetest leaves. A community moving through an ancient world, a reminder of a lost world. But nature is never static. It is a force of immense, unstoppable change. The world that seemed so permanent began to wither. Slowly at first, almost imperceptibly, the climate started to shift. The reliable monsoon rains that had fed the great rivers and lakes began to falter. A subtle wobble in the Earth's orbit, a tiny change in its tilt, was all it took to alter atmospheric currents. The life-giving rains began to move south, abandoning the Sahara. A great thirst descended upon the land. The transformation was not sudden. It was a slow, creeping death that unfolded over centuries. The lush grasslands began to yellow and then turned to brown. The smaller streams and tributaries were the first to go, their beds cracking under the increasingly fierce sun. The mighty rivers began to shrink, their powerful flows reduced to a mere trickle before they vanished entirely into the sand. The edges of the Great Lakes receded, leaving behind vast, sterile plains of cracked mud where life once teemed. For the animals, this was an existential crisis. The world they had known was disappearing from beneath their feet. The giraffes, dependent on acacia leaves, found their food sources dwindling and were forced to move, always searching for the next green patch. How do we know this story is true? How can we be so sure that giraffes once roamed where now only sand and rock exist? Deep within the mountain massifs, Tassili Najar, ancient peoples left a breathtaking record. On the smooth rock faces they carved and painted the world they saw. These are the echoes of the green Sahara. We see carvings of people swimming, hunters stalking cattle and antelope, and most poignantly, giraffes. Hundreds of them. Earlier art, hippos, crocodiles, then giraffes, elephants, finally, camels. This is not mythology. This is a direct historical record, a message. We were here. Archaeologists and climate scientists study them to piece together a timeline. By studying styles and subjects, we can see the environment changing. It's a dramatic reminder. Our world is not fixed. Climate is not a constant. Ecosystems that seem permanent can vanish in what is, geologically, a blink of an eye. As we face rapid, human-induced climate change, the silent stone giraffes stand as solemn sentinels, reminding us of our fragility and the forces of change.